Every pharmacy in this country sells a drug that raises blood pressure. It does not require a prescription. It does not come with a warning most people would notice. It sits on the shelf between the vitamins and the antacids, and the average American reaches for it 2, maybe 3 times a week without a second thought. You cannot feel your blood pressure climbing. You feel the headache. You feel the relief when the pill kicks in. What you do not feel is what that pill is doing to the system that keeps you alive. Gerald Maddox had been reaching for that bottle for 11 years. Gerald was 43, a regional operations manager for a logistics company outside of Memphis. 17 warehouses across 4 states, 10 to 12 hours a day in his car or behind a screen. His wife Denise had stopped commenting on the schedule years ago, which Gerald had decided meant she was fine with it. 2 kids in middle school, a mortgage with no margin, and Friday nights built around takeout from the same 3 places because nobody had the energy to cook. He was not a reckless man. He drank socially, which meant 2 or 3 beers on a Friday and a bourbon at the company dinner once a year. His doctor would have called him overweight. Gerald would have said stocky. He carried it through the middle, the kind of weight that builds when lunch is a gas station sandwich and dinner comes through a window. What Gerald did have was a bottle of ibuprofen in his glove compartment, another in his desk drawer, and a third on the bathroom counter. Headaches from screens. A knee that had been bad since he stepped wrong on a loading dock 4 years back. A lower back that seized on long drives. 2 pills in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Sometimes a 3rd round before bed. He had been doing this so long it did not register as medication. It was maintenance, same as coffee. Denise mentioned his face looked flushed a few times that year. Gerald blamed the heat, then the stress. His doctor had flagged borderline blood pressure at a physical 14 months earlier. Gerald nodded, took the pamphlet on sodium, changed nothing. The number had not scared him because he felt fine, and fine meant functional. The headaches changed that fall. These sat in the back of his skull and pulsed. One Tuesday in November, the usual dose did nothing. He took 2 more at lunch. By afternoon, he was seeing a shimmer at the edges of his vision he had never experienced before. He sat in his car in the driveway for 10 minutes because the pressure behind his eyes made him afraid to stand up too fast. He told Denise he was coming down with something. 2 days later, at 6:40 in the morning, he collapsed in the hallway. His daughter heard him hit the floor. Denise called 911. He was conscious but confused, speech slightly slurred, face deep red. He kept saying he was fine. His blood pressure in the ambulance read 210 over 118. A hypertensive emergency, the kind of number that puts organs at immediate risk. His chart said borderline hypertension, currently unmedicated. Under current medications, the intake nurse had written none. Gerald had answered honestly, by his own understanding. He did not take medications. He took ibuprofen. Those were different things in his mind. The attending ordered an antihypertensive to stabilize him. Reasonable given what was in front of her. She signed it and moved to the next bed. The order came through to me. His chart said he was on nothing, but his kidney function markers were off. Not catastrophically, but enough to raise a question if someone was looking for it. I was looking for it. I had seen this pattern before. A man in his 40s, no prescription history, borderline blood pressure never treated, and kidneys that did not match someone who should have been healthy. Something was grinding on his system that was not on the chart. I called the floor and asked one question. Has anyone asked him about over-the-counter pain medication? There was a pause. The attending said she would check. 20 minutes later, the call back. 6 to 8 tablets of ibuprofen a day, most days, for the better part of a decade. He had not volunteered it because he did not think it counted. To understand what happened to Gerald, you have to understand how these pills work, beyond the pain they stop. Anti-inflammatory drugs, the class that includes ibuprofen and naproxen, the bottles in every medicine cabinet and break room in the country, block an enzyme called cyclooxygenase. That enzyme does more than manage pain. It helps the kidneys regulate sodium in water, and it keeps blood vessels relaxed through signaling molecules called prostaglandins. Block it every day for years, and the kidneys hold on to sodium they should release. The body retains fluid. The vessels lose flexibility. Blood pressure climbs, a few points a year, the kind of creep that never triggers an alarm at a single annual visit. Think of it like a thermostat someone nudges up by half a degree every few months. No single adjustment feels dramatic. But after a few years, the furnace is running constantly. The system is strained, and nobody can explain why the energy bill tripled, because nobody remembers where the thermostat started. Or think of the kidneys as a city's drainage system. Prostaglandins are the maintenance crew that keeps the drains open and adjusts flow. Block their production daily, and it is like firing half the crew without telling anyone. The drains work for a while. Then the water table rises, pressure builds in infrastructure designed for lower levels, and by the time someone notices the flooding, the damage has been accumulating for years. Regular users of these drugs face roughly a 40% higher chance of being diagnosed with hypertension compared to non-users. A sustained diastolic increase of just 5 to 6 points over a few years is associated with a 67% rise in total stroke risk, and the system is not built to catch it. These drugs are unregulated at the point of sale. No consultation required. No ER intake form asks specifically about them. Medicine tracks prescriptions. It does not track the 3 bottles a month someone buys at a gas station. The economics make it worse. These are the cheapest pain drugs on the market, which means they are the first thing people reach for when they cannot afford a doctor visit or take time off work. The affordability is the trap. The easier it is to manage your own pain, the less reason you have to sit in front of someone who might catch what it is costing you. Gerald's dose was adjusted. His kidneys were monitored more carefully. He stabilized in 3 days and went home on a blood pressure medication he will now need indefinitely. I am not telling you this to make you afraid of your medicine cabinet. I am telling you because the decisions that matter most happen before you reach a hospital. Know what you are taking, all of it, and say so when anyone in a white coat asks. Over-the-counter does not mean consequence-free. If you are reaching for a painkiller more than 2 or 3 times a week, that is a pattern, and your pharmacist needs to see it. Pay attention to headaches that change character. A shift in quality, location, or intensity is information. Do not just treat it and move on. Mention it to your pharmacist or doctor, and let them decide if it warrants a closer look. Get your blood pressure checked when you feel fine, especially when you feel fine. The whole danger is that it never announces itself until something breaks. A reading takes 30 seconds. Most pharmacies do it for free. If you have pain that shows up every day, do not manage it alone. Daily pain is not a nuisance. It is a signal that deserves a real answer, not a standing dose of something designed for occasional use. Talk to your pharmacist or your doctor about what is actually driving it. Blood pressure is not a number on a chart. It is the force your blood puts on the walls of your vessels every second you are alive. When it goes up, your heart, your kidneys, your brain absorb it. The body is patient about that, until it is not. Gerald's body was patient for 11 years. The bottle in his glove compartment never changed. The pressure behind it did.